I'll tell you, buying horses is a real art and science to buying horses. You know, especially if you don't really know that much about horses. You're just playing polo because it's your hobby, and you're working 5 days a week, and your polo is your passion, but you don't have time to really be a good horseman. So, first thing, you need to have somebody sort of that's going to hold your hand a little bit, whether it's your groom or a trainer or somebody that knows good horses and you trust. And then you just need to find a horse that sort of suits your style, whether it's comfort level you're looking for. But first and foremost, you want a horse that stops, that has a good mouth. I don't care how ugly the horse is, how uncomfortable he is. The best asset a horse has, in my opinion, is that he's got a good mouth. Okay, and that's something that you just sort of have to try that horse a couple chukkers and just that's number one. Number two is that the horse suits you, and you can you're confident, you can hit on him, and he just gives you a good warm feeling when you're trying him. Those are a few of the main sort of concerns that I would have. Looks don't mean a damn thing. You want to have a pretty dapple gray or a beautiful chestnut with a white face, whatever, but you want a horse that's going to get you the ball, because that's the name of the game. Looks, as they say, looks never won a polo game. But conformation is important. You want to have a horse that's fairly, depending on your size, that's another issue. If you're a big guy, obviously maybe a bigger horse is better for you. If you're a little guy, but sort of, you don't want anything with real long pasterns. You don't want anything with real light bone. Especially if you're a heavier guy playing a lot of tournament polo, and just a horse that's easy to hit on, that's comfortable, and just has great brakes. And speed and agility, that's all depending on how much you want to pay. I mean, you get what you pay for. That's the bottom line. And these guys got to realize that to buy a good horse, why does it cost me $8 grand versus 20 grand? There's obviously issues there. It's obviously not the same horse. Now, there are a lot of crooks out there. You got to be careful, but that's where if you have somebody that can hold your hand a little bit, hopefully helps you through the process.
I read somewhere Dr. Billy Linfoot said the most important thing when buying a horse is to buy it from someone with integrity. Forgetting everything else, buy it with someone with integrity. Can you talk about that and talk about it honestly a little bit about?
Yeah, that is so true, and I hadn't gotten there yet, but I'm glad you brought that up. Horses, they're a dime a dozen out there, and you can school a horse up and get him where he's doing all the right stuff, and knowingly that a month later when this guy rides this thing once a week, this thing's going to come to pieces. So you if you can find somebody that is got a good reputation, that's always has sold a lot of good horses in the past, that is sort of realizes how you ride and sort of your routine, and that's how you start a good relationship with a dealer or a horse sales, is by finding the guy that you can trust. That's critical, because you can go here in Wellington today and you can try 100 horses like that, and I'll bet you out of that 100 there's probably 15 worth of even look at, they don't have issues, you know what I mean? And not just how they play and how they operate, but their soundness, their past, little things that they don't tell you about until it's too late, until weeks after you've written those checks, So, I've been in the horse business for a long time, and one of the nicest things that I find is, as you get older and you're as playing professionally for a long time, and now I'm a little more focused on my horse sales, is it's a real pleasure to have my clients rant and rave about the horses they bought from me. You know what I mean? It just and that's how you establish a good relationship, and that's how you sell a lot of horses. You just are straight up with people, and you make sure what you're selling them that And as a seller, you know, your instinct sort of takes over. You say, you know, I know this horse is going to work for this guy. I know what he's doing. I know where he's going. And not 90% of the time, I get away with it. Or, you know, most good, you know, horse sailors, as they used to say in Argentina, because they couldn't quite figure it out. Horse sellers feel the same way. The compromise for a lower handicap player, maybe one with not such a big budget, there's a lot of really, really top horses out there for these guys that have issues. They've got old tendons, they've got old suspensories, they've got maybe, you know, hock joints that are a little bit arthritic. They've got, you know, 16, 17 years of wear and tear on them. So those are the type horses that are made that with a little maintenance are going to be fine, and they'll pay a little bit less. And to tell you the truth, for some of these guys that don't ride that well, you know, they're way better off getting an older horse that's got some wear and tear and some miles on them than trying to buy some green horse and be a hero and train this thing. I mean, you know, it's just it's a no-brainer, really. And that would be my biggest sort of compromise.